The most famous picture in recent America, and probably the most famous picture in American political history, I'm talking about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life, was banned by Facebook. Nobody seems to know why. The picture's back now after millions and millions of complaints. I want to start off with a story that I just can't even believe. This is one of the most famous pictures in American history already, and will probably go down as the most talked about famous picture in American political history. It was taken by a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer from the front row of the rally weeks ago in Butler, Pennsylvania, right after Trump was shot and being rescued by the Secret Service. As you can see, being hugged by a rather short Secret Service agent, but she's got her body around him. She's doing her job. What I find very disturbing about the picture is not the content, but the treatment of the picture. Facebook banned it, not a joke. Yep. Facebook took this picture down and banned it. When millions of complaints were coming in, a spokesman for Facebook said the website had incorrectly flagged the post featuring the now iconic picture of President Trump raising his fist after he was almost assassinated. They labeled it misinformation. Now, this is after the assassination attempt was witnessed by, 100 million people, 200 million after it was replayed around the world. Some people are saying it's 500 million have seen it. It was played in every country in the world. And the New York Post said that the post in question was made by an account called End Wokeness, and it showed this picture. The photographer's name is Evan Vucci, very famous photographer. And they decided, they being Facebook, that it was misinformation. End Wokeness was threatened with being deplatformed for posting the picture. Now, Facebook first said, well, it was a doctored picture. Then they said it was labeled misinformation in error, and their system was corrected after millions of complaints poured in. Well, do you believe Facebook?
No, I don't think it was a mistake.
What do you think the real story is?
I think they went along with, can I say it? The feds. I think what happened was that there's people inside of Facebook. Even let's put it like this. Let's just say Mark Zuckerberg gets a new heart, right? Like the scarecrow, he gets a heart, bravery. I guess the lion had the heart, right? So I guess let's just say he gets a heart. No, it was the Tin Man. I can't remember. Anyways, let's just say he gets a heart, and all of a sudden he says,
own story.
Yeah, right. Let's just say he gets a heart, and all of a sudden he wants to say that we need to stop censoring conservatives and stop censoring conservative content. There's people still inside of Facebook that will not adhere to that. Same thing happened on X. Elon Musk apparently got rid of 80% of the people that was in X, but there were still people inside of X that hate conservatives, and they're still blocking people as much as possible, up under his nose where he's not seeing it. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, after all of this came out, and he apologized, and apparently, supposedly, he called President Trump and apologized to President Trump directly over the phone.
You're saying Zuckerberg said, "I'm sorry" to Trump personally?
He called President Trump directly and apologized to him for taking the picture down, because this is a horrific thing that happened to him. Like, President Trump was almost killed. He was almost assassinated.
That close, brother. That close.
Yes. In a different reality, if we're watching a different sci-fi movie, in a different reality, President Trump is gone. But that is not the case. And they're so upset about it, those on the left. They're so upset that he survived this horrific act. And then to the point, Bear, where they're trying to cover it up, trying to act like it never even happened. They don't want anyone talking about it. They don't even want anyone to acknowledge it. You see the government state media, the mainstream media, they're not even talking about it. They're talking about Joe Biden on the tarmac with people coming from Russia. Really? This is a horrible thing that took place. And now they have the hearings, of course, on Capitol Hill, and the mainstream media, the government state media, none of them, they're even talking about it on Capitol Hill, trying to get down to the bottom of it, the negligence of the Secret Service. And Google, along with Facebook. They want to cover it up like it never even happened. And why
Hold
do
on a minute.
they do
I
that?
want
Because
I
it's
want to talk
positive for
about
Trump.
Google. I want to talk about Google in a second because what they're doing is even worse.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about that in a second. So it's your opinion that it was a mistake by somebody down the totem pole. And the reason why I say it like that is Zuckerberg said, and I read the commentary that he posted, that he said Trump standing up with his fist like this saying fight fight was the most badass thing he's ever seen in his life.
Yep,
Now
I seen the video.
that's Mark Zuckerberg, who's way left normally, who all of a sudden he's got this admiration for what a badass Trump was 45 seconds after almost getting his brains blown out.
Yeah.
So it's your opinion that this was some, how should we say, libtard down the totem pole at Facebook that did it?
I believe, yeah, I believe it was someone with inside of the company that did it, because why would he go on national television and say that it was, so awesome that President Trump put his fist up, fight, fight, fight. He said he's never seen anything like it before. Then all of a sudden, Mark Zuckerberg saw it himself. And then he's going to turn around and say that this is fake news after he went on there and acknowledged it. That's why, it's someone down the totem pole. My question is, did the person get fired that did it? Because enough is enough.
That's a really astute question. That's like the way they're asking the Secret Service in the Senate hearings. Who are you firing?
Yeah.
For not protecting the president, for not having the roof manned, for not having someone go confront the shooter for 45 minutes after people are watching him with a rifle.
Exactly.
No, and by the way, nobody has been fired at Secret Service. No accountability. I don't want to talk about it. It's an ongoing investigation, and they say that until everybody forgets. You think that's
exactly
what's going on at Facebook?
Now, I don't know. That's a really good question. It would be nice if they did, but I don't think that they did. They probably say, "Hey, look, we can't do this. Don't do it again." Right? But they're going to do it again. I mean, as soon as they see conservative content show up, they're going to do it again. Let me make a comment on the Secret Service not being fired. It's irking me to no end, because the Republicans are constantly asking, "How has anyone been fired?" And they said no. Well, my question to the Republicans: has anyone been arrested? You have Merrick Garland defying a subpoena. He hasn't been arrested. Then you have Mayorkas that won't even answer any questions, and he's connected to the Secret Service. He hasn't been arrested. So I don't want to hear this about who's been fired when nobody's been arrested. And then they were going to do it. They had a whole, they all took a vote. Well, should we charge Merrick Garland $10,000 a day because he defied the subpoena? And then you had six, I think it was six Republicans, if I'm not mistaken, that voted it down. Said, no, we're not going to charge him $10,000 a day because he won't give us the audio on Joe Biden. And now that Joe Biden's out, Kamala Harris, you don't hear anything about that any longer. Who's been arrested? No one. I'm so sick of it.
The lack of accountability is infuriating. And like I said a minute ago, if we don't keep bringing this stuff up, the news cycle is so inundated with new tragedy, the new upset, the new surprise, the new backstabbing, right? In 4 days, there's 300 more stories. And people like you and me track it down and remind our audience of millions of people that, hey, you guys, pay attention. Right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the whole point of this story here about the picture of President Trump putting his fist up, fight, fight, fight. They wanted to bury that story.
Well, let's
like
talk
it
about
never
that.
happened.
What did Google do? If you go in Google and you put in Trump assassination, you don't get Trump assassination. They have buried the algorithm completely. I don't know how they do it, but they're shadow banning literally the story.
Yeah.
And you get all kinds of stuff. Trump did this bad. Trump got indicted. Blah, blah, blah. The assassination of Martin Luther King. John Kennedy. All this other stuff comes up. You can't find it.
Yeah. Or it's positive information about Kamala, right? It's positive information about her, but it's not what actually took place that day. They don't want people to know about it. They want to tell people that it was fake. It never happened. How was this not interference? I left the other word out, right? How was this not interference? It is 100% interference. And they're doing it on purpose because they want people to not to know the actual history. This is the reason why they want to change the history in the past, right? This is recent history. They
And
want to change older history.
and if you control the media, the people turn into sheep, just
Yep.
like in Germany.